2020. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast for the Wednesday Night Wars, AEW Dynamite versus NXT on USA. Interesting shows tonight for both. We had some stuff we don't normally see, some unexpected surprises, a major return in NXT to end the show this evening. Matt, high-level thoughts on what went down tonight?
Cool. I'm always a fan of something unexpected, so I dug tonight.
Yeah. Justin, what'd you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed both shows. I thought AEW had a little bit better emotion, but I thought NXT had the better bell-to-bell action.
Yeah.
NXT, man, I don't know what was the bigger surprise tonight. Bianca getting into it with Charlotte and Rhea.
You called it.
I know. I couldn't believe it actually happened. Hey, a broken clock is right twice a day. But that was a surprise. Velveteen Dream showing up was a surprise, but perhaps even more so, Tyler Breeze may have had the best match of his career tonight.
Crazy.
It was nuts. Which one should we dive into first?
Let's do NXT. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I was really big on NXT tonight.
It was good, man. I mean, so we opened up with the Cruiserweights. We got Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne off their Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic win last week, coming out to celebrate. They came out riding a decorated golf cart with the Dusty Classic Cup on the back. And wouldn't you know it, Undisputed Era wanted to have some words with them in advance of the tag match they're going to have at TakeOver Portland. Now, of course, they got into it, started attacking, and now, pardon me, wait a second. No, the attack didn't happen here. They just faced off here at the top. There was some stuff later that built this up for the six-man match that we saw in the main event tonight. But this was a good open to the show. I have to say, though, Matt, what did you think of going from this really strong promo into Angel Garza versus Isaiah Swerve Scott, especially Angel coming off of this past Monday on Raw?
What was your problem with it?
I thought that Angel had some good heat, but at the start it was kind of like, how do you follow up that opening segment with the Cruiserweights and Undisputed Era match for match? Yeah,
that's how with a match that something that has to be completely different. It couldn't be another promo. It couldn't be a backstage vignette. It had to have been a match. I didn't care for the match actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying with it. I think Angel. Okay, so Justin, how do you think Angel's stock is right now? He had a great showing Monday night on Raw, but how do you think this match followed up on that? Personally, I felt it was a little slow to start.
I mean, I think he still got the win. He got to cut a promo. I mean, I think this stock has never been higher in his professional career. I mean, he's on Raw, albeit kind of as an audible because Andrade is suspended, but who cares? He's not. It's a great week for him. And just to the opening promo, I popped big. I don't know why. It's the stupidest thing, but I popped with the rest of the crowd to Matt Riddle's how many fish can Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish?
That was good.
Riddle and Dunne. I think Pete Dunne shows that Matt Riddle's been lacking a straight man, someone that he can play off of and vibe off of. And I think that this pairing with them is working very well.
It weirdly is. I don't like it on paper at all, but yet, like, do you remember when they were showing them sitting in the front row? I forget what the show was, and they were like sitting like 5 feet away from their opponents at World Collide. I think it was maybe. I don't know. He was playing off them in that moment. I thought it was kind of cheesy, like when Pete Dunne was trying to talk and he's making all this stupid, shaka signs in the back behind them. It looks stupid, but then tonight, I thought it was a home run.
The crowd is into it, and I think I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, do you think they're going to win the titles?
They're into everything, though.
I hope they don't win the titles. I hope this has this oddball chemistry that like Daniel Bryan and Kane had, but I don't need to see this go that long. This could be something that's just a little, couple more.
This will slow down Riddle, I think.
A couple more weeks. Yeah, a couple more weeks, and let these guys go back to being single stars.
Phil with a $5 Canadian super chat. That's like a good $4.25 American, saying Riddle needs to drop the bro thing and turn heel. What is a king of bros anyhow?
I will tell you, it is that you're the king of bros, just as it says.
Jeff Spicoli is my king of bros. I don't recognize anyone else on that throne. That's just me. No, I think it's a good gimmick. I think, though, with Pete Dunne, man, there's something about having a guy with him.
Yeah.
It just sells it so much better. I thought that promo was good. And, I think with what we're looking at right now, I don't know. I could see them winning the titles at TakeOver, especially if Undisputed Era is going to start to crumble a bit more.
I hope not.
Well, so Angel Garza got that win over Isaiah Swerve Scott tonight, and after that, he was saying that he wants to go back or wants to go against Jordan Devlin for the Cruiserweight title. He knows he's in the building tonight, and he'll be watching. So I think they're gonna build towards that. It was good exposure for him on Raw, and I think he looked really good in this match.
Mm-hmm, he did.
Backstage, Undisputed Era was pulling a staffer, some enhancement talents, looking for Tommaso Ciampa. We saw Sergeant Slaughter sitting at ringside. That was kind of cool.
Random.
Yes. I feel like they don't do that as much. Remember, like in old NXT, it used to be every week they would have some sort of legend or Hall of Famer there. So yeah, this was kind of different. But then we had Dominic Dijakovic versus Killian Dane. Poor Killian Dane, man. Dijakovic, great offense here. Looks really good. They're setting him up. He's going to face Keith Lee for the NXT North American title at TakeOver in Portland.
This served its purpose. This was good. I'm okay with this. This was a very good win, and it shows he can beat a bigger guy. It sets him up perfectly to help get Keith Lee even more elevated when Keith Lee goes over on him. Yeah,
and I love Dijakovic's finisher that he does, the Feast Your Eyes. I mean, it's simple, but it looks really good. He's got these long limbs. It just looks powerful. Him dropping a knee into somebody's face after he's.
I think Feast Your Eyes is corny as hell, though, for what it's worth.
Matt,
the wording.
And this might be what you always say.
Who the hell's really?
But you know what? You can say that this might be what, like you say, Matt, about how the
people's elbow. Are you really gonna go there?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna go with how you talk about how the NXT crowd they go for anything, and I think Feast Your Eyes is a little corny. I think bask in his glory is a little corny. I mean, I think it's not just to him, but that crowd there embraces anything.
If you have an international crowd, bask in his glory is super over, right? Because it's one of their chants. It goes along with the rhythm, if whatever you would call it, right? With their soccer chants.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
That's big. It's always going to be over but I don't know. I can't see it getting too over in America though. Like eventually it will die. Feast Your Eyes is corny.
Dijakovic versus Keith Lee is going to be awesome though.
Let me just be fair though. I'm a huge Dominic fan. I think he's awesome.
Man. So I don't know with Killian Dane, it's got to be weird though, right, Matt? I mean, his experience is going to be similar to when you were on the main roster and went back down to OVW. I mean, for him, he was on the main roster. He had that exposure.
I wasn't doing jobs. I came down and went damn near undefeated to become their champion.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like imagine what your experience was, and imagine Killian Dane's, and it's I don't know.
And then to be fair, I mean, OVW was a pipeline, obviously, of just studs that were being pulled up to SmackDown and Raw like every other week. But it still wasn't NXT by any stretch of the imagination. NXT is its own entity and it's its own beast. So, I can't. Yeah, we shouldn't compare it.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn, at any point, if they decided to start next week and starting next week have 5 straight weeks of Killian Dane getting booked and having wins, I would believe it. It's not like he's been. It's not like he's been discredited and buried.
That is why big guys have always been in wrestling for that reason and that reason alone. They're the most realistic looking performers, generally speaking, and it's always easy to get a big guy on a run and then all of a sudden, like me in TNA, let's use an example. Out of left field, I'd be tagging with like Hernandez, right? We'd be tag champs. No, worse. I shouldn't say worse. That makes it sound like I wasn't appreciative. I don't mean it that way. But better scenario for my example is I was bodyguarding per se Ric Flair rather in the Fortune gimmick, right? The four of them pretty much wrestling, and I was out there being Lex Luger but with a suit on. And out of left field, they decided to turn me face and have me wrestling for the World Heavyweight Championship. I went on a 6-month run and a 6-month storyline with Jeff Hardy for the title. Because it's believable that, I could just turn on Ric Flair. I got a match versus Ric Flair. I got a win over Ric Flair, and boom, I was made in one night, and it's believable because I'm a 7-foot monster.
Yeah, I mean, in a little bit similar case, Batista did the same thing. 1 minute he's Deacon Batista, the next minute he is the animal Batista. It worked.
You can speed it up and it's believable. Like you
Sure.
can lose a bunch, right? But then as soon as they got to get you on track, and then you got to get you some wins under your belt, and then you look unbeatable.
Yeah. We shall see. Matt, at what age did you have to start buying suits at a big and tall shop? I got to think by 14, you weren't able to buy off the rack anymore.
Sometime in high school, I'm thinking I didn't have a suit.
Yeah.
Actually.
I was gonna say, people forget this if you haven't seen Matt in a while. I think I'm so used to seeing you on the podcast. Every time I see a photo of you, it's just like, dear God, he is tall. In person, that's all I'm gonna be doing. It's just being like, this is the guy I see hunched over, whose head is level with mine, and he's got a good 1.5 feet on me. Anyhow, so we got the Undisputed Era hunting Tommaso Ciampa. We had this conversation between Morrow moderating Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano via a split video feed. I know we've had problems with this style of presentation before, but what did you think? This was almost more like a promo off as opposed to a real face off.
Yeah, them trying to be different, right? Trying to use technology, different forms of it, right? I'm a fan of that. I'm always a fan of them thinking outside the box and trying something that we don't see every week. So I dug this. I thought this was okay.
Justin, what do you think? I thought Gargano was really good. How do you think Finn came across?
I'll be honest, I actually missed a little bit of this. Whatever was on AEW at the time really had my full attention and audio, so I caught little bits, so not enough that I'm going to judge good or bad to this one.
I think it'll be a good match, but yeah, it's given everything else that's going on right now in NXT, it's kind of funny that Gargano versus Gargano versus Finn Balor is kind of like the second tier takeover match.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
I mean, Finn's fallen off a little bit. I mean, he's it was a big deal when he came to NXT, but even that, it's kind of he's going to need, I don't know what the plan is for him come WrestleMania time, and obviously NXT is going to be involved in WrestleMania on WrestleMania Sunday, which we'll talk about here soon. But I mean, Finn needs to get some victories to get some cred, because he's just kind of there. He's not. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no trajectory right now.
Yeah.
Mercedes Martinez versus Katie Catanzaro. Loved the promo, the video they showed for Mercedes before this match.
I love Mercedes.
She's great.
I've always loved her as a talent.
Now, Justin, what's up with Casey? Because there were all these stories a couple months ago that she was done, that she left, and here she is back tonight. She was kind of enhancement talent at the end of the match, but what's her status?
She's there. I mean, she's still under contract. I mean, and they gave her some shine in the Royal Rumble, as we saw, giving her the spot, kind of giving her the Kofi kind of booking, where she had the great host spot of not getting eliminated. She's there. I remember hearing those rumors too, and I don't know. I think maybe it was an injury she dealt with, and maybe they thought that was it. But she's there. She's I feel like I'd have to Google. I feel like she's dating one of the boys too. So
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Is that Ricochet? Okay, yeah. So I thought I heard she was dating somebody. So there you go. She's not going anywhere.
Can't keep up with everybody's personal life, but I mean, there's enough on-screen stuff to follow. Anyhow, how do you think Mercedes looked tonight?
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
So Casey had like 2 really good spots in this. The head scissors takedown was awesome. She looked good, but yeah, this was Mercedes. This was her match.
Yes. As it should be. I think she's a star, and she's been waiting for this opportunity forever.
NXT is so stacked with women right now. The women's division is so freaking good. It could be its own show, just the NXT women.
Yes, I agree. Totally agree with that.
Okay, so Rhea Ripley said Charlotte was backstage with Kathy Kelly. Charlotte Flair was on her way to the building. Rhea says her only concern tonight is Bianca Bel Air, of course, who she's facing in TakeOver Portland, but it's nice of the Queen to show up. We got a bit of hype for Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox, a street fight that's going to happen at TakeOver. And finally, Tommaso Ciampa attacking Undisputed Era. This spilled out into the ring. Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne getting involved in it. William Regal came out, setting up a main event for later in the night. Of course, with 4 versus 3, this is where I thought they kind of tipped their hand of where that was going to go. But let's talk about Jordan Devlin, the Cruiserweight champion, versus Tyler Breeze.
Oh, man.
When Tyler Breeze came out tonight, to start this match, he got attacked by Jordan ahead of time. Did you even think we were going to have a match? And if so, how long did you think this was going to go? Just on paper.
I thought this was a match to make Jordan, obviously, and it would be a very quick match. I thought maybe 5, maybe.
This had 2 commercial breaks in this match. Tyler Breeze, man, every once in a while they let him remind us how good he is.
Oh, man. Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who would you, if you can give a spot to on the show, you can only use one of these 2 talents. All right, your card is full, but you can only use one of these 2 talents. Who would you use? Finn Balor or Tyler Breeze?
This is a tough one, man. I feel like Finn's faded into the background a little bit. I think if they rebrand Tyler, like drop the male model thing, just have him be pretty boy Tyler Breeze.
You don't like the male model thing?
Well, but I'm saying that I think there's a ceiling on that, right? It's like
back to the way it used to be.
Yeah, you know, he needs more definition to him. Right now, he looks too generic, like a dude
so?
that's that. Yeah, his
like Christian was with
Tyler Breeze's peak was when he had the selfie that was then projected onto the screen, and the entrance where they followed his feed, and he does the. I mean, you need definition, otherwise you're just another dude.
He had a star feel to him, man. That's why I was so disappointed with how they did him when they brought him up on the main roster. Sorry about the train in the background. I'm outside. But seriously, I was so disappointed how they brought him up because again, WWE, you had it done. The hard work was done for you. This guy was already over with your audience. Raj usually doesn't agree when I say that, but it's the truth. He was over with their audience, and he already was made my opinion, a star with his character was already going to be a star. Just get the F out of the way and allow what these guys are doing, and girls are doing on NXT, and bring it up on the main screen at the time.
I think the gimmick was so strong that got in the way of letting him have really great matches. At live events he did it, but on TV a lot of the time.
No way. He was dude, you got to go back and watch it. Don't you remember? He was like they were crushing it.
He had some good ones, but they got shorter as time went on as a gimmick.
They got shorter when he
Raw, yes, and SmackDown,
they got shorter when he had time constraints of Raw or SmackDown. But in NXT on a takeover, and he's able to go 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, damn near still in the show. If he wasn't in the main, like he was doing really good. I thought that guy was going to be pretty damn big. I did, because his character was so different.
And what makes me even more disappointed to see that he's kind of fallen into just being just generic dude is that, like, he was once already. That's 2 feet tall. Thank you, Tina. He was once already generic dude. You know, back when it was Florida Championship Wrestling, he was like Mike Dalton. You know, so like so they found something for him that he embraced, and the people got behind. So the fact that they've moved away from it is just that's annoying. It sucks.
I think he's still got a lot of potential.
He does. I just wish they wouldn't. It's my biggest gripe is like they have Nakamura, Joe, all these different talents, friggin' the Demon. That are ready-made for the big screen as far as Raw and SmackDown goes with these characters. Stop tinkering with them. Book them the same way they were booked on NXT, and you'll have yourselves more megastars. Nakamura should be a megastar.
I think that ship sailed when they had, what was that vignette with him painting something backstage?
So stupid.
Yes.
He's a cool entrance, cool music.
I know.
Everything about him is cool, Nakamura.
Justin Lopez, $5 super chat saying, I thought Tyler Breeze was locked to be IC champ when I first saw him.
Yes, exactly. Dude, Justin Lopez hit it on the head. Yes, right at that level for sure. A Jeff Jarrett type of hand. You know, Jeff Jarrett had a very definitive character. Country singer. That's actually a good example of he could have been the modern day Jeff Jarrett.
I think, though, that with strong gimmicks, that's what overshadows it. People think about the Fashion Police, they think about the male model things of tonight.
It all up.
Well, it was good, but not in the way. Not as you said, Matt. If you're not taking bumps, you're winning. Like you're getting on TV without having to bump for it. But I don't know tonight. Let's talk about this. What does that mean for how they see Jordan Devlin? That tonight he had a super competitive match against Tyler Breeze. because this guy just won the Cruiserweight Championship.
I don't think it was a knock on him or them being disappointed or whatever negative it could be. I don't think it was negative. I think they really like Tyler Breeze a lot. I do, and this was an opportunity to get him in there, plug him in, and then, like what you just said, remind everybody how good he is, and give him a fair opportunity. And this was done very well, I thought. Yeah,
this was a chance to, in some ways, showcase Jordan Devlin, just all the things he can do, and that could be tougher to showcase if it's a quicker squash match. This is also a way to occupy 3 segments, kill a little bit of time, and this also, I know that there's no down on Jordan Devlin because
they still were taking a chance though, Justin, because this guy's not been on TV very often. In Tyler Breeze, so to eat up 3 segments of a show when you're competing against AEW, that was a gamble, and I'm glad they took it because it paid off. I guarantee you it paid off. That was a great match.
Sure, and somebody who was singing, we had it in the headlines on Wrestling Inc. this week, somebody who was singing the praises of Jordan Devlin hard. I mean, and we're talking, usually in the Legends, they try not always to pinpoint somebody, they try to be generic. Shawn Michaels called out Jordan Devlin and said, he likes a lot of the talent, he likes a lot of, but if he has to pull somebody, he put over Jordan Devlin hard. That's Shawn frickin' Michaels saying Jordan Devlin's going to be a star. That's big because those guys don't always pinpoint one talent. They don't usually do that. But Shawn came out in an interview just recently and put him over huge. So,
I think this was great tonight. Everything from here on out. I mean, this really was a case of NXT starting well, but from Mercedes onward, actually Dijakovic onward, like the show just got better and better and better because we went from this match. And if you turn the channel tonight thinking again Tyler Breeze versus Jordan Devlin, I'm going to watch AEW, go back and watch this match tonight. I think this might be my favorite match I saw on TV of between both shows this evening. We had Bianca Belair out there with Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte's getting the welcome home. Bianca, of course, is seen as a huge superstar. Charlotte, I mean, being really dismissive of Bianca, Rhea coming in, taking Bianca's side, they end up powerbombing Charlotte. So we didn't get Charlotte's answer about Rhea's challenge for WrestleMania. But Matt, come on. Bianca, Charlotte, Rhea, triple threat. Bianca wouldn't have been out there tonight if that's not a potential direction they're at least thinking about.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, I got to give you credit. You freaking called it.
This was good use of Charlotte, I thought. You're not going to damage her at all. She gives a nice little rub to both Bianca and Rhea, giving them some credibility, letting them double team her. Letting Bianca talk a little smack on her. I mean, this was you want to see this. I mean, look, she's in the double digits already of title reigns. You're not going to harm her. Her last name's Flair, so this was cool. And by the way, just shout out to, I saw somebody send me the message on the chat here, Kill Bill, about the AC/DC cover. Good looking out. I will do that. Thank you, Kill Bill. I want to acknowledge fans.
Why are you wearing a Ken Kennedy shirt?
Because this is my favorite shirt ever. It's a Ken Kennedy shirt.
And it's your favorite shirt.
Yes, it is. And it matches the microphone. See, there we go.
What is whoa?
Justin has a microphone tattooed on his body like Enzo Amore does.
Wait a minute.
I had it probably before Enzo.
Wait a minute. I need to know, why do you have a tattoo of a microphone on your arm?
Because I got it when I graduated with my broadcasting degree.
Okay. Touche. I mean, and I stand corrected. That's actually a good reason.
Yep. You weren't inspired by LL Cool J and the mic on his arm?
No, it's not. Just like I have LaBar over here, it's my adopted last name. So I put it in my blood as homage to my adopted father.
Oh, wow.
Homage. It's
so,
homage.
I want to get back to this.
You don't say the H. It's homage.
We're loopy, guys, and we're only 24 minutes into this thing. We got a ways to go.
Raj is pulling his hair out of his head.
No, he's not. He's caressing Ryback's bald head.
Wait, do you think that they're like in the pool right now, like on rafts, drinking daiquiris together, like
steam
saying cheers? Hang on, saying cheers to each other and stuff. Like those suckers got to do the podcast.
Oh, the fan fiction people could be writing.
Can we make that cartoon of Ryback and Raj hanging out in their swimming pool on a raft together with daiquiris?
Anyhow, before this goes further off the rails, Bianca Belair is a goddamn superstar. She more than held her own tonight.
Big time.
I think the crowd was hotter for her than Rhea just because Bianca had more to feed off of with Charlotte's disrespect.
And she's a little, I can't believe we're saying, am I wrong for saying, maybe because she's a little newer, not much newer, but a little bit newer than Rhea on this level. So right now she's super white hot. Would you say she's more? Yeah. That's why I'm adding that in. Do you think she's more white hot at the moment than Rhea?
I think because of the Rumble, yeah.
Right? In this moment in time, this minute, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. This is so good. Oh my God. It's exciting.
This is going to be a triple threat. This is absolutely going to be a triple threat. I don't think they're going to pump the brakes on Rhea and do a title switch. I think Charlotte is going to interfere next Sunday to take over Portland. We don't get a clean victory, and the rematch will be at WrestleMania with all three.
Incredible.
Yeah. Good. It'll be great.
It is. It really is. And I will be looking forward to that. I mean, dead serious, as one of my most looked forward to matches on WrestleMania that night. Dead serious.
I think it's going to be fantastic. We had the Undisputed Era versus Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne, and Tommaso Ciampa. And look, I got to be honest. I was paying more attention to the lashes being doled out on AEW opposite this match. And I was just waiting for the surprise at the end, because you could see on the TV guide tonight they were going over again. It didn't end right at the hour. Matt, how do you think it looks when AEW's got MJF whipping Cody with a belt, and then Undisputed Era is painting a yellow X on Tommaso Ciampa's back?
I know you want me to say a little copycat-ish, right?
Well, I was going to say it looks kind of weak. I mean, that's not a heel move. If I'm whipping somebody with a belt, spray paint. I'm so afraid.
I thought that WWE thought they were like upping the ante in their weird head of theirs.
Really?
And I would want to be the one to inform them that they'd be very wrong. It's worse. It's weaker. Like you said, weak. Yeah, weak. That's what I got from it. Yeah.
You know what I thought, kind of jumping the gun of our news that we'll talk about is, based upon the WWE admitted, and then now they have Killer Kross signed, and he's at the Performance Center, and they put the big yellow X. Killer Kross, the symbol is the big red X. I was thinking, okay, the fourth person is going to come out here and make his debut is the newly signed Killer Kross. That's what I had thought for a minute there. That's why they did that.
Dwarfs them.
Yeah.
Dude, he dwarfs them.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this. We're talking about the news. But the big surprise was Velveteen Dream making his return,
which is still cool.
It's awesome, right? I mean, this is the shot in the arm NXT needs.
Yes.
So now they've got Undisputed Era, Velveteen Dream, Ciampa, Gargano, Balor, Keith Lee, Dijakovic, and then an incredibly stacked women's division. Next week, the Wednesday Night Wars really begin, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is where they can catch AEW. This is where they can catch them regularly, I would even argue. With all their stars back and the stupid Dusty Rhodes thing done with, the tag tournament is now done with. Yeah, I agree with Chrono Falco, who says they made Velveteen Dream look like a megastar tonight. He took on all four members of the Undisputed Era on his own. Yes, I agree. He is a megastar. He just is. Even when they start to underbook him a little bit and they start to put him around that U.S. heavyweight intercontinental level on the NXT brand tier of their show, if you will, he still outshines everybody every single time. That's my favorite. He's my favorite act in the whole show, always.
It was a great way to end the show. He looked like a star. I'm really excited to see what they do with him. I mean, maybe he'll be in a one-on-one match with Roderick Strong at TakeOver. I don't know.
I just want to point out, I love NXT and I love AEW more, obviously, but this is where I get frustrated with WWE by competing against them. I know we have fun with it, but like AEW can be a big time, huge company, like a WCW, right? To give them legitimate competition eventually. And I'll go back to what I said last time, you guys. They should have left well enough alone, is what WWE should have done. They should have let them have their Wednesday nights. Because the bigger that company gets, the more successful it gets, the higher the ratings get. Wrestling will hit a boom period again as far as viewership goes. And the business can come back to where it once was. And it's just they don't learn their lesson. Like when he bought WCW, He should have let Wellen be alone. He should not have bought it out and then have everybody twine into one show and two shows. Should have left WCW Nitro running on it. You know what I mean? Or they should have just done it that way, as it was a separate entity for competition. Without that, I'm sorry, that's when wrestling started to die its slow death. And I wrestled during that era. I don't mean to put it down as an era, but by putting it down, but it's no comparison to the Attitude and some of the other golden ages of wrestling, like the cartoon rock and wrestling era that we grew up as kids watching. It's just, it can get back there. And I don't know why you'd want to kneecap them. You're a zillionaire company. You are Disney World. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to lose money in this. You're just not. You have the only opportunity to grow your money by everybody being exposed to the business of pro wrestling.
Although, Matt, you're in a...
Can I give you a quick example?
Yeah, please.
And I used to say this in sales, and it's true. People get misconstrued. Like, say there's a 7-Eleven, and across the street at that other gas station, and there's a 7-Eleven that sells Coca-Cola, right? Right across the street on on the corner is a Walgreens, and they sell Coca-Cola. Freaking 7-Eleven person's like, wait a minute. I don't want you selling the Coca-Cola to my competition. They're going to go there now. That is not the way you should be looking at it. We should be looking at it as you're actually putting more ad, if you will, and exposure to the Coca-Cola product overall by having them both in both stores. That creates more knowledge, or not knowledge, what's the word I'm looking for? More
demand, awareness.
Yeah, awareness, thank you, of that brand. Therefore, it gets more popular. Therefore, more people are going to come in and want to buy it now. Therefore, you will get it back on the back end because now it's a more popular product that you're selling in your store instead of wanting to be the only one that has it. So same thing with the Wednesday Night War thing. They should have just let AEW have this night and build that brand and get these viewers that maybe WWE can't get, and get them back into watching wrestling again. And once they've shown that they've been able to grow this brand and bring in different viewers, Glenn, then you strike, and then you start trying to go to war with them and steal those fans.
Well, it's funny you bring up Disney. So this living near Orlando. Disney kind of slept on Universal for many years.
Yeah.
And now they feel like they probably should have acted sooner. Now they're in a huge war. They're trying to outdo each other with every new attraction, every new announcement. And it's great for the consumer. But even Disney worries about the competition. I'm not saying you take your eyes off of it. Good Lord, no. You definitely, I watch every single thing that they're doing on AEW, and you monitor it, definitely. But WWE I would argue WWE so far ahead of anybody else. You can't even use Disney to Universal. That's how far ahead WWE is than any other wrestling company. Yeah.
There's nothing to compare it to because they are just so dominant. They are such a monopoly.
I think it was tough with NXT already being on Wednesday nights. That made they felt like their turf was encroached upon.
That's fair. I forgot that actually. Were they on the network on Wednesday nights?
Yeah. And that's what that's what Triple H was. That was what we had asked Triple H about right when it became announced that NXT was going to USA, and we knew that AEW Dynamite was shortly behind on TNT. As he said, he goes, everybody's saying that we're counter programming. He goes, but we were on Wednesday nights first. Just because it was on the network and not cable doesn't mean we weren't there. So he kind of he looked at it as the opposite way. I mean, it depending on how you want to look at it, whatever. But they looked at it as Wednesday was their night of wrestling. So,
but to your point, Matt, it'll be telling what happens when AEW adds their second night on TNT if WWE counter programs that. That will tell us.
It doesn't make it in the long. I'm surprised nobody like somebody in their company doesn't tell them the long game. You need to think the long game. The long game is, can you use this as bait, if you will? This AEW program, bait meaning like you were fishing, right?
Yeah.
Lure. I'm sorry, bait rather. Yeah, let's stick with bait, the analogy. My analogies are terrible, then I apologize, folks. But you use them as the bait to go out and get these fans that you can't get, that you haven't been getting, right? And if they're able to really go get those fans that used to watch wrestling and then became disenchanted and went to go watch UFC and didn't come back, and AEW showing that they're able to get those fans, let them have them. Let them build that. And then a couple years later, then snatch those fans by then running, counter programming.
Free enterprise, man. I just don't see Vince McMahon sitting back and playing the long game. He doesn't have time to play the long game.
He's old. They're like freaking zillionaires, and they're just so far ahead of everybody else. I know.
So Jules Slinger with a $9.99 super chat.
Thank you.
tribute to the network, saying I was looking forward to the 6-man tag match, but found myself far more emotionally invested with MJF and Cody. MJF is possibly the best heel in wrestling. And
Ding, 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 ding. Yep.
the Chris with a $4.99 super chat. Everybody with the 99s tonight.
Let's go.
MJF is television gold. He gives me hope that real professional wrestling will be back in a boom period. Do you guys feel the same way? I mean, I think
if it does, I agree. He's one of the people leading the charge. I really do.
Stays in character.
The best. I love that about him.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you ever see the documentary they did on him on YouTube?
Yes, with the amazing twist halfway through. When I watched that the first time, I fell for it. I was like, "Oh, see, he's just a regular guy. He's explaining how the character is," and then that twist hits, and I was like, "This is freaking brilliant. They need to show this on TV."
They do, yeah.
It was so well done. Justin,
he's so young then.
I haven't, so I'm not going to ask what the twist is. I guess I have to go find.
This was years ago. This was like him on the Indies, like 2-3,
maybe
right?
2 years ago. Maybe
okay, so he's 21 at the time.
Something
he's
like that. Yeah,
crazy young. He's 23 now. He was 21. This kid, man, he gets it and then some. He totally gets it.
It was brilliant. It was very well done.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's great. So let's talk about AEW tonight, and we will talk about that Killer Kross news after we recap. Opened with Jon Moxley versus Ortiz. We had Chris Jericho on commentary out there with Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. Of course, Santana was with Ortiz. What did you think of this match to open up the show with Moxley getting that win?
Good. This is great. I thought this was a great way to kick it off. Two acts I dig. Very, very well-paced match. Great, strong, and a very good win by Moxley.
Yeah, good match. But the highlight, the headline is the ending. Eye for an eye. Literally, I loved it. It.
Yeah.
So he jabbed his eye with the key.
With the key to the car. A nice little keeping continuity to the story here. The car that he stole, stab him with the key. I mean, that's great. No automatic starter here. He's stabbing him with the freaking key. I love it.
That was good. Good storytelling. We followed that up with SCU versus the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy. Oh, man. I don't
Cassidy's over. He's so over.
Yeah, I mean, Cassidy's the most over guy in this. You got the first AEW tag team champs and the Best Friends. And I'm thinking back to this match, and the thing I remember the most was the Dark Order coming in the ring and trying to recruit Orange Cassidy out there. Like, to me, that was the high point. Everything else was just an appetizer for that, right?
I just think it's so funny to recruit Orange Cassidy.
Great. But that's kind of my point, though, Matt.
He's too lazy to pledge allegiance.
Could you imagine if he was in the cult? Like what it would look like? He wouldn't wear the mask. He wouldn't put it all the way down. He'd just wear it on the top of his head. He wouldn't be able to pull it down. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't want to struggle breathing.
That guy is a star, but he's kind of venturing into that Tyler Breeze territory, though. His gimmick is so strong, nobody's aware of what he can actually do with wrestling.
Well, I think that's good. So when he does throw it out there every once in a while, it's like, holy shit, he can go.
Yeah.
This is the prime setup for Orange Cassidy. You can milk him doing the nothing, the hands in the pocket, and then like once a year he explodes, comes out of his shell, does like some amazing things, and then back to the hands in the pocket. It's a little bit like in a longer form. It's kind of like the Eugene character in WWE. Like you think that he's just he's this got handicapped, and then all of a sudden he's filled with rage and can do amazing things. I mean, maybe I don't know if that's the best analogy, but like there's a lot of things they can do with Orange Cassidy in time.
He couldn't wait a year to do it, though. I mean, come on.
I'm actually going to
milk it for a year before he said
it's kind of like when you watch the Jay and Silent Bob movies, and there's always the one scene where Bob all of a sudden speaks and has the most insightful things to say.
And I agree. I know what you mean. I know you're getting at, but like they've already kind of let the genie out of the bottle a little bit with some of the stuff he does off the top rope, some of the dives he's done, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the Best Friends are holding him down. They're holding him back.
They totally are.
Yeah, totally.
But he needs somebody. He can't go out and wrestle a full match.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, Matt,
he just takes the heat. Maybe he could actually just eat the heat the whole time, make a comeback.
but he was on the indies. Matt, we talked about this when we first saw him at Double or Nothing. We were watching those matches. He put on great one-on-one matches. Everyone was unique. He found a different way to incorporate the gimmick and still get some wrestling in. I want to see that guy on TV.
The other person, though, you need to remember, has to go along with it.
Yeah.
If you notice, all those matches had that in common, right? Mm-hmm. The other guy had to play along with it. And sometimes it looked, I don't know because the wrestling purist in me, not that there's much of it, but the wrestling purist in me, can get kind of annoyed with it a little bit and be like, oh, come on. Like, this is getting ridiculous with some of those matches. But let me be clear, like 90% of me is super entertained by it too, because it is creative and it is different.
I'd love to see a conversation of like Arn Anderson, like coaching Orange Cassidy.
I would just like to go inside Arn's head or Jim Ross's head when he's out there. Because you know what's going on up there. You know what's going on up there.
Hey, Matt, from your experience, do you think if he saw him, how do you think Vince would interpret Orange Cassidy?
He would not eat. Oh, my goodness. You talk about somebody on the opposite end of the spectrum that would never get it. Would not even get it. He wouldn't even let him in the arena.
He wouldn't
even let him in the arena, let alone give the guy a tryout match, which he totally would deserve, and he would get over on his show too. But we're talking Vince's opinion here, right?
Right. The billionaire that doesn't sleep and tries to buy into a gimmick of a guy who's a lazy millennial.
Yeah. Yep.
I said this
Great
at the time.
though.
Remember, Orange Cassidy was slow to sign with AEW. I'm surprised WWE didn't try and make a play for him.
I'm not. They were freaking tone deaf when it comes to like that kind of stuff, right? Though he's an acquired taste. You got to admit, the first time I saw him do his thing, I'll be honest, I didn't understand it. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then when I went on my YouTube search, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was so blown away by him. So
he's great. Away. So Jeff Holke has this live photo of Raj Giri and Ryback lounging poolside.
Is there any, not to be, beggars can't be choosers here. Thank you very much for putting that up. Is there any of them with, you can put like a daiquiri in their hand?
It looks like
or them cheersing each other, like cheers, in the middle of the pool on the rafts.
It looks like a SummerSlam promo.
This is awesome. Yes, Raj back.
There you go.
Can we get Ryback to come? We get Ryback to come out to Mania.
We have to keep our phones near. So I'm waiting for a Raj.
Oh, I was gonna say we need to print that on some T-shirts and wear those WrestleMania weekend.
Raj back versus who, Glenn?
The Jew print.
There you go.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Raj me more. Raj me more.
It'd be the other way around for the record, but keep going.
Yes. Justin, we did announce Monday night that you and Raj are going to have a Vince McMahon off.
Yes,
with
at WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
I second that.
Yes. So Brit Baker tonight versus Yuki Sakazaki, and man, talk about an effective use of the dentist gimmick tonight. Yuka Sakazaki, try saying that 5 times fast, got the win, but after, man, blood coming out of her mouth, broke one of her teeth, put the lockjaw on her. I mean, this was just brutal Brit Baker tonight. Matt, how do you think this stacked up compared to what we've seen previously?
Great. You guys didn't like this? I thought she got herself over tonight. I thought she did a great job.
No, I thought it was good. Justin, what did you think of this?
I think Britt is one of the best single heel acts at the moment that AEW has. I think on paper, I liked what they were trying to do here. Two critiques that I saw though. One, I love what they're trying to do, like having the unsuspecting baby face. You get the quick kind of get the quick win to force Britt to go crazy, grab the bell. I can't say her name. She was shorter than the referee. I mean, she's 5'0". Again, just like offense that I just wasn't into. So whatever. So that's that. But I like what they were trying to do. I like Britt's fury, all that. My other complaint, this is more on production. I love the spot. Britt putting her after the match. Britt puts her puts Chick's mouth on the rope, stomps on her head. I think it's a brutal spot. It plays into the dentist thing. Love it. the director needs to cut away and go to that tight shot of Brit quicker because they stayed on this close-up of Chick on the rope, and the referee is shoving the teeth and fake blood in Chick's mouth for her to then spit out. I can't unsee it. I'm not trying to nitpick on the tricks of the trade and the parlor tricks here, but like it was right there in front of me. They were doing it, and then they cut away 3 seconds later. I don't know, but I like what they were trying to do on paper. I like the effect. I like the whole gimmick. Brit, she's never been a heel in her life. She's been a babyface always because she's the pretty girl who's, who can work like a babyface. I love that they are taking this heel approach with her, and I think that it's working. So great for that.
I think the teeth stuff, I mean, it could get into Isaac Yankem territory pretty quickly, but I would love for her to cut a promo about how there are 32 teeth in the human mouth with more nerve endings concentrated than anywhere else in the body. And I know how to completely dismantle that to cause the most pain possible. I think tonight could be a good sea change for where they're going with her character.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm all for the heel Brit Baker.
Yes. Do you think Kathy Hunter 929 saying, do you think Brit brought in someone's real tooth she extracted? It looked like a real tooth.
Got plenty of them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. A dentist is like the tooth fairy. They collect them. Anyhow, this was really good tonight. I'm curious where they're going. Then we got Kenny Omega, Adam Page, and the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros, the Butcher, and the Blade with the Bunny in tow. So this was a hell of a tag match. Matt, what did you think of this?
Awesome. I'm still not a fan of Butcher, Blade, and the Bunny. I can't stand it. I hate it. Sorry. I like one of the guys on the team. I think he's awesome and is a wrestler. Just don't like that. I hate the whole character. I hate the gimmick.
It's a tough one.
I'm warming up to it, actually. So, I don't know.
Well, good, because they need
all the fans they can get.
Yeah.
But this was really to set up the storytelling after the Blade, the Butcher, and the Lucha Bros won, which were Matt and Nick arguing with Adam Page. Omega was trying to play peacemaker. Right. Page bounced from the ring looking for a beer and headed out through the crowd. They're really going with this drinking angle as the crux of this story.
I don't feel they advanced it, actually. I feel like we just saw the same thing, essentially. Didn't we just do the same thing where he went out in the crowd and left again?
He has been this did feel a little repetitive to that end. And it was interesting that they went from this to Tony Schiavone talking to Kenny Omega and then completely abandoning what was going on with Page, but cutting the backstage with Pac standing there threatening Riho and to get his match date with Pac.
With Kenny, yeah.
Yeah, and then the surprise of this, though, which I actually loved, man, what do you think of Nyla Rose then coming out after Pac left, powerbombing Rio through the table and telling Rio that next week she's coming for her, so it's going to be a title match, Nyla Rose versus Rio next week on AEW.
Nyla Rose is going over, and she's going to be the new champion.
You heard it here first. Justin, what do you think?
I agree, and I felt bad for Rio. The segment's being done live, and the table doesn't break, and Rio just takes a hard bump on that table.
I'm telling you, these lighter girls, it is hard to break that table. It really is. I feel bad for them because it hurts so much worse.
It does. I don't know. I mean, again, I know I know right now the theme of me tonight is I'm picking on the Asian females, but I just no. I don't see any credibility or any believability in Rio. Okay, I just don't. Sorry. What was that for?
Just people tweeting more stuff at us that we probably should not show on this podcast. Anyhow,
show it.
No, I'm not showing this. But let's talk about this Darby Allin vignette where he was taking a flamethrower to a cardboard cutout of Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho hugging.
Perfectly cool. Loved it.
Yep.
I love this. They hit grand slams when it comes to these vignettes. They just do. These are awesome.
I don't know if this is how they do it, but it genuinely feels like, hey Darby, we need you to run a video. We need to run a video with you in 2 weeks from now. Do something showing your anger and rage towards these guys. And he goes and finds a flamethrower, and they have a video crew, and they like it. It truly feels. I don't know if it is, but it feels like total creative utopia.
This was really well produced. I mean, of all the backstage vignettes, pre-tape promos in either brand, this is one of the best in recent memory. I mean, so I'm assuming we're going to get Darby versus Sammy at Revolution, which I think will be a killer match.
That's going to crush it. Yes, it will.
It'll be great. Tonight, Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford versus Joey Janela. The angle that keeps on going.
This was good, though. I thought, right? They eventually had to have a match here, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Are you invested in this, Justin?
I believe it because the fact that I know Janela and Penelope actually used to be a thing. So, like, there's that realism. There's that Matt Hardy, Edge, Lita realism is that this is not like a manufactured Lana, Rusev, Lashley. Like, these three people have all been romantically cross-linked.
Is she really with that guy, Kip Sabian?
I think. I don't know for sure. I know that she used to be with Janela. But my problem, I mean, I enjoyed this, but I thought like it started out and Jim Ross set up on commentary great. He's like, folks, I don't think we're going to see a lot of wrestling here. This is going to resemble more of a hockey fight. And in the start of it, it did. And then it turned too much into a wrestling match. And then JR was putting over. Janela's known for his crazy stunts, blah, blah, blah. But he can actually wrestle. That was so contradictory. 5 minutes ago, you're telling me this is going to be a fight because this is over a man was watching his.
But he's got to do something because he's trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah, but
when it's being done in front of him, his job is to try to get things over that are going on in the ring that need the help.
Right,
and the psychology behind that needed the help.
But what I'm saying, Matt, is that this match shouldn't have been as long as it was. It shouldn't have been as much of a traditional match as it was. They came out. They came out swinging each other. They
should have stayed there, and they should have been a short match because you can't go long. Those kind of
I don't know why this turned into a wrestling match.
Yeah, I think having a long match when the angle is over Love Triangle, I just think is really testing the mileage that a story like that has.
It needs to be short. I agree with that. It does need to be short because so much of the Gaga takes up most of the time, usually. Yeah. You're right. Humanity, donate $2. Thank you very much, Humanity. You guys think AEW needs a mid-card title?
No.
Sure? Oh. We got one yes, one no.
I think when they had a second program, definitely. When we have the second night of programming.
Fair. All right, that's fair.
So after this, what everyone was waiting for after Kip Sabian won that match via pinfall. Well, first, actually, we did have that Inner Circle promo backstage before the whipping or the whooping. Right. Whooping, both are correct. That happened. So Santana is going to face Moxley next week. But yeah, I like Jericho chastising what kind of trash he was to spike a man in the eye tonight. So they're going to keep building this to Revolution. I think Moxley's going to face every member of the inner circle before this is over.
And that it makes sense, but by the same token, I think they're doing it too soon. I still think the Inner Circle should have been given more time to get to completely dominate this show, like not show any chink and any kind of kinks in the armor, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like look like a machine for like 2 months, 3 months, even I would argue. And then when somebody goes through them one by one and does the Diamond Dallas Page versus NWO shtick, then it means more.
And we still haven't seen Jake Hager have a match. That's crazy.
No. That's good though. I will say that. Yeah, that's a good thing.
But to your point, Matt, of like they could get more mileage out of their dominance. We haven't even got him in the ring yet.
That's actually a really good point. There's obviously huge money to be made in that. They continue to make him a monster. Very easy to do with continuing that path. And then, eventually he wrestles. It's going to mean a lot more.
Yeah.
So then we had the Young Bucks backstage asking Adam Page what his problem was. Nick saying if he keeps acting this way, he's going to lose those tag team titles. It is weird that Page and Omega are the tag team champions.
Why is that weird?
Because this whole storyline. I mean, the fact they're announcing there's going to be a tag team battle royal for a title shot at Revolution coming up in 2 weeks. They're going to have a title match against SCU next week. This whole storyline is about what we saw here. They took Adam's cup of beer away. They had it off. Adam Page looked to think about it. Someone brought him up a pitcher of beer and he drank some. I mean, they're using the tag team titles to tell this Adam Page story that I think they could tell perfectly fine without it. I don't know. I feel like it's the titles are a backseat to the interpersonal drama between the elite. They're trying to show us here? And Matt, maybe I wouldn't feel this way if we were a year into the promotion, but don't you think with the tag team title still being kind of new, it's weird that SCU lost them only for them to be almost sidelined in this story?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do.
Especially if SCU just ends up winning them back. I don't know.
Not good.
Yeah. So let's talk about the main event. Wardlow out with MJF. Cody comes out fully dressed in a suit, which then he proceeded to undress from the waist up so he could get his lashes. And during which he had support from his brother. He had support from Arn. He had support from his wife, Brandy. What did you think of this match, Matt, and how MJF looked and how Cody looked? Because, I mean, we talked about this in the build-up to this. Cody really wants this match against MJF at Revolution, so he's doing his penance here with these lashes. But let me get your thoughts on this segment.
Awesome. Very, very, very intelligent to have the three of them out there because they're obviously put out there so we can emotionally invest even more in the pain he was in by showing their faces. The people who love him the most, watching him have to go through that anguish, totally built this up even more. This was when wrestling. This is like when wrestling is really hitting on all cylinders, and wrestling is fucking wrestling. You know what I mean? When it's really clicking like this, and that emotional investment. And we use that word a lot, but I was so goddamn invested in this. This was awesome. This was so well done. So well done. Kudos to AEW and everyone involved in that segment. That was awesome.
Yeah, when they started this segment, there was they had about 13 or 14 minutes until they would hit the end of the hour. And I thought to myself, man, what kind of goo goo and gaga is going to have to take place to fill 13 to 14 minutes?
Me too.
They made 10 lashes last 13 to 14 minutes. And yet, as like Matt said, like emotionally invest. We kind of cliche it around, but it was there. Yeah. I mean, every lash, there was at least 45 seconds in between. There was taunting. Then they start. The heels are all out there, kind of like watching from afar, like, oh, look at Cody getting it. And then each of the baby faces coming out. I was a little when Brandy came out, but I think I'm okay with it, even though Brandy's supposed to also be playing this other cult character. Yeah. But we know that she is Cody's wife, and this had a sense of realism. So her grab. Yeah, it just it. I was wondering, how are you going to make 10? And even the little things, like they let Wardlow get a lash in, which they need to do because he's having a match with Cody in 2 weeks. So you got to get some heat on him. This just, they knocked it out of the park with this. And then MJF playing the frustration. The dude just got to whip Cody Rhodes' ass for 13 minutes with these 10 lashes, unprovoked because he can't touch him. He just got to whip Cody's ass, and he was so mad after that 10th lash because Cody survived it, and now Cody's one step closer to having a match, and MJF is frustrated. The chicken shit heel is frustrated because the guy is getting that much closer to him.
Doomsday is coming.
Doomsday is coming. This is
when wrestling is done. Yeah. Wow, this is when wrestling hits. I'm telling you, this is the stuff that sucked us in as kids. When they do it like in an unbelievable manner that sucks us into the damn segment like that. That sucked me in completely.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry, but we got to give him his credit. I don't know how you argue against Cody as wrestler of the year. I'm being serious. I can't think of anything he's been in that sucked ass. Everything he's been in, for me, for whatever rhyme or reason, it seems to be the best damn thing on any show. I care about every damn thing that dude is part of, even just like backstage promos. Even I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like he has done the best overall.
He comes across very well.
He just makes me emotionally invested. I don't even know him. Like I don't think I've met him even. Do you know what I mean? So like he as an act has been able to get me another former pro wrestler who more than anybody is going to be tougher to suspend my disbelief, right? Because the goings and comings of how pro wrestling works inside the ring, the psychology. So there's a lot of predictability into it that I usually see 4 steps ahead, and it can not ruin it, but hurt my suspension of disbelief, right? This dude completely finds a way to do it and make me get sucked into something that I'm thinking I'm not going to get sucked into. And he finds a way to do it, man. He's the shit, man. He really is. I think he's the best thing, one of the best things going right now for sure.
And to their credit too, as they're trying to build a lot of real emotion into this, 10 lashings with a leather belt that you watch Cody take off his pants. This is one of those things. This is not a gimmick belt. This is not a working lash. This is just taking a leather belt and man up and taking 10 shots to it. The marks don't lie. This is a very real, in your face.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a scripted, emotional soap opera, but this is one of those things where
his selling that was real life.
Yes, he's getting whipped with a belt. No makeup artist came in the midst of this and made these red marks.
The ref wasn't sitting there feeding the lines onto his back with the blood out of like a frosting bag.
What I was worried about was how was he going to sell it, because when something hurts in real life, you don't play it big. You know, like if somebody really punches you in the mouth, you're
stunned.
You're gonna grab your mouth and like look for teeth missing, blood, that kind of crap. You're not like. You know what I mean? Like they do in wrestling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damian Cole with the $6 super chat saying, should Moxley or Jericho win at Revolution? What's better for AEW in the long run?
Long run? I think they're both on the same level of it not mattering. Like with
long run, Jericho winning.
Really?
Yeah, because it means he keeps more steam on him to put over whoever that person is one day. It'll mean more when that one person finally does go over on him.
You're not gonna think any less of Moxley.
You know what? You just gave me my answer. Yeah, you're right.
Lewis 13 with the super chat saying Guevara should be the Orton of to the Inner Circle.
I've taken him that way already, but obviously much smaller and much more of a wise ass.
AOTV asking, who do you think wins, MJF or Cody?
Cody. Right?
You built all this. Cody has to,
But then MJF really has to come back. MJF needs to disappear.
You know what? What would happen then? How would it work then, Glenn? If MJF wins, which I think Cody can take. I think Cody can take this loss. I do. I think he can still be okay and win. The problem is they made it so personal.
Yeah.
Where it's like when Cody said he wouldn't wrestle for the title again if he loses to Jericho. Well, that really screwed him a little bit, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? And this is one of those things too, where if he does put over MJF, well, then what? Now he's your top babyface who, was going to finally right that wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't.
I think if MJF loses, he needs to have like his segment after, disappear for a while, but he has to come back and do something so hardcore and twisted. All
right, listen. So I want MJF to win because it makes his character, it'd be perfect for his character and his continued meteoric rise in wrestling, right? Yes. It's a main event level win for him, and he's already made anyway, let's just be honest, but he'll be even more made with an actual win versus Cody Rhodes, right? So, I see both sides of this. This is a tough booking call, actually, I'll admit.
We shall see.
Maybe it's maybe it's one of those kind of deals where whoever, if Cody wins, he gets some kind of sense of vengeance, but something happens post match that also lays Cody back out that keeps MJF and or Wardlow. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Because let's be honest. Let's look at the card placement. It's not going to be the last match at Revolution. You figure, or I don't think it is. You figure the last match at Revolution is going to be the title match between Jericho and Moxley. So if it's not the last match, you can get away with the indecisive, not indecisive, but you can get away with unfinished business essentially.
So one little detail we didn't discuss earlier before we get into the news is that tonight, if you noticed on Velveteen Dream's tights, he had the airbrush that said "Call Me Up, Marina," and a photo there, and that's Marina Shafir, who's Roderick Strong's, I believe, girlfriend, partner. Certainly, that is their child. He had an airbrush of Velveteen with Marina and their child. So yeah, I have a feeling we're going to see Roderick versus Velveteen Dream at TakeOver Portland.
I love that he gives the ode to the old school. I love that he does that, Velveteen.
The Rick Rude.
Love that. Dude,
Buddy Barlow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I've got a tough call to make. I don't know which man crush I like more. Is it MJF or is it Velveteen Dream? I don't have an answer for that.
You know what we should do at WrestleMania, Matt? Wrestling Inc. should get you access tickets. And I want you to go through the access experience with the camera and just have you fanboy out at everybody that like you love watching. I think the fans would get a kick out of that to see you, Mr. Elder Statesman of professional wrestling, who's been doing this for so long, just be a fan.
They definitely got to be the younger guys, though. Only the rest of them are like, dude, you're 2 feet tall. Should be pumping my gas.
I want to take my press credentials to WWE Access Mania Week, and I want to have Matt Morgan come with me as my cameraman. I think that'd be a fun dynamic. Let Matt mark out as the cameraman. The cameraman is a foot taller than me.
To what do I owe these total jabron status freaking gimmicks you guys?
Oh, look at you! Look at you!
Yes, like Gallows and Anderson. We'll see Matt be like, "Oh, dude, time's supposed to be tough if you're doing camera work now. I didn't think it was that bad."
Doing LaBar's camera work, Jesus.
Buddy Barlow with the super chat saying Wardlow versus Cody Cage match is going to be insane. Just don't want to see Wardlow lose his first match either.
I know. I agree.
And Cody's back. They do have photos of his back all tore up on the AEW Twitter.
I would think, and that is the big thing. Like, you don't want Wardlow to lose his first match, but Cody has to somehow win so he can have his match with MJF.
Dude, Big Show Stone Cold style, dude. Have him break the cage.
Right? Matt, you beat me to it. They have to do something where it's like it was just a funky finish that allowed.
Yeah.
That's it.
He power bombs him into the cage. The cage somehow comes open. You know what I mean?
February 99, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That's how you do it. Same thing.
Yeah. I went bananas when Big Show came over, though.
I loved it, too. Awesome. Best part of that match, though, prior to that, the bump that Vince takes when he and Austin are at the top. Vince takes the bump off and then falls back and hits the announce table, cracks a spine. Ugh.
So what else do we got, Justin, here in the world of professional wrestling?
Well, the big news, as we kind of alluded to earlier, it had been rumored and it was confirmed on WWE Backstage last night on FS1. WWE then confirmed it today with pictures of them at the Performance Center. And it was the fact that Timothy Thatcher has signed. Timothy Thatcher most recently with MLW. He's now with WWE. And then Killer Kross, who had been with Impact Wrestling. And
who's Timothy? Wait, what?
Timothy Thatcher.
I don't know who that is.
But he's a very...
what's his name on MLW?
Timothy Thatcher.
Oh, dope. Sorry.
A very
who's the guy MLW's got? He's in a tag team, but he
both of these guys work a very physical, strong style kind of way.
Okay.
These are not high flyers. This is a.
Well, I know who Killer Kross is.
Yeah, Timothy Thatcher's I'm gonna punch you in the mouth kind of guy. If William Regal, if you want to, Pete Dunne, got that European kind of stiff uppercut kind of feel to him.
I think Killer Kross is ready. I mean, just for a push, ready for some exposure. I think he's got the look. He's got the personality.
He does.
I think he'll be a very strong addition to NXT.
No word on what their names will still be. WWE.com introduced both of them. Introduced Killer Kross by his real name. Said he's also known as Killer Kross.
Really?
Gave a little bit about his accolades. Well, there's some questioning of whether or not they're going to allow Killer to be in the name of one of their.
Oh, come on!
That's the question right now. He might just be Kevin Kross. He might just be Kross.
Might just be Kevin Kross. They might as well name him Chris Kross at that point. To go from Killer to anything else is a letdown.
Well, maybe he's just Kross. I don't know.
Don't say that in front of Vince. I'll make him do it.
Chris Kross. He'll make you jump. Anyhow,
Vince didn't get that either.
Yeah.
You don't think Vince was like, wow, these kids wearing their clothes on backwards? I don't understand.
No, Vince was like, another bad creative Inside Out is much cooler than
Vince is getting ready.
Really quick, I gotta cut this off. Trust me, Justin. This is why the fans you love me, and here we go. Right now. Ready? Remember this moment in time. Glenn, when Chris Kross was at his most popular, did you in your bathroom or wherever your big mirror was, right, to check yourself out before you went out places and stuff, did you wear your clothes backwards?
No, but my younger brother did. And I
Can I ask the
remember
question? How was it done? How do you put it on backwards? How do you put the button down baseball jersey on?
that's what
backwards?
he had. He had the base button. I remember helping him actually button it backwards.
Yes, I
He
knew
put
it.
through. Yeah.
I knew nobody can put that on. But all these years, it's
Yeah, you
now
can't button
solved.
that yourself. But
I
I remember
had no idea. I'm like, how could they do this? Wait a minute. How do you do your fly behind and zip it up and buckle it behind your butt? How do you do it?
Yeah, I was
He's-
very invested in the feud between Chris Kross and Another Bad Creation. Of course, Another Bad Creation wore their clothes inside out, whereas Chris Kross wore their clothes backwards.
Oh,
That's
that
why there's the line in Jump. Everything I wear is to the back with a little slack, because inside out is wiggle, 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 whack.
Bruce, he's not just a cross. He's a Chris Cross.
What? Huh? What? Oh, God.
You know what's funny though? I find myself listening to Another Bad Creation more now than Chris Cross. Like Aisha, Playground,
Aisha
those
was
songs.
awesome. Playground, awesome. They kind of sound similar when you think back, but still, they're very good songs.
Yeah. Boys to Men, ABC, BBD. That was the shit.
BBD was the weakest for me.
Really?
Out of the bunch. Yeah, I know they're probably moving.
Love Belle Biv DeVoe.
Boys
Love
to
Belle
Men
Biv
was number one for me out of that group, out of all those.
Well, and I remember there was the mystery because in those videos, like Motown Philly, there were like Boys to Men, Another Bad Creation, Belle Biv DeVoe, and then they showed Sudden Impact. That was like a white R&B group whose record never got released, and it was like, what's up with Sudden Impact?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, go watch the Motown Philly video. There's like a picture of these white guys in there.
All it did is make me want to go eat Geno's steaks and try it.
Yes.
Go to Philly and try it.
Motown Philly is such a good song. I'm just not an R&B guy. I'm not a ballad guy as much.
I wasn't either. Because of them, I was. The guy Wanyans, whatever his name was, like the best singer of the group, him. He was awesome. Well, he'd be in remixes out of left field. He was in that song with Mariah Carey. He's good. He was really good.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if all their songs were like Motown Philly, like I would just be stoked. I love that sound. The New Jack Swing R&B song.
Is that's what New Jack Swing is?
Well, it's of that style. So I mean, what was that? A hip hop smoothed out on an R&B tip with a pop feel appeal to it. That was the Belle Biv DeVoe definition of their sound.
Do you guys appreciate Glenn when he's doing this?
I'm gonna go join Raj and Ryback.
Hard, meanwhile, it's right at the tip of his tongue. He doesn't have to think hard.
It's not. No, I have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Anyhow,
can we get a meme of Glenn dressed up with clothes on backwards as Chris Cross? Please. It will go viral.
Man.
It really will go viral. And then, Glenn, didn't you rap on this show a while back?
I believe I saw a video clip, so it must have actually happened.
He did the Humpty dance a few weeks ago.
You folks, you want to go viral? Post a picture of Glenn with Chris Cross clothes on backwards, okay? And then Glenn rapping that in the background. You guys will get so many followers. You're so welcome.
Can I sing some? Can I sing some like Limp Bizkit or something?
Got to make it happen. What else do we got? What else? Anything else, Justin?
No, that's it.
Okay. I got to go watch some old Boys to Men videos with BBD. Good times.
Yes.
Did you watch the New Edition miniseries that was on BET a couple years ago?
I did. I like New
Edition. No. What?
It's like 3 parts. It's so good. It covers Belle Biv DeVoe, Bobby Brown solo, all that stuff.
I met Bobby Brown through Mark Jindrak. When we got released from WWE, we started doing Mark and Matt Live, this stupid reality series that nobody ever really watched. Anyways, when we were filming it, I went to Atlanta where Jindrak lived, and we were in this warehouse dunking to get clips of us dunking and stuff like that for whatever background footage we needed for something. Sorry about the noise. Anyways, and Bobby Brown's there. And in part of this warehouse is an actual studio where Mark Jindrak was rapping. And Bobby Brown kept going out from his car back and forth inside the building, outside the building, inside the building, outside the building. And he was doing not so good things. I was still using at the time myself and still messed up on painkillers at the time, but that's really all the step I never went beyond that, obviously. But I remember like, should I feel like this is amazing that I'm hanging out with Bobby Brown right now? Or should I be like, oh crap, I'm around Bobby Brown right now and he's doing bad things. And I'm here and I'm part of it in a way. Do you know what I mean? It was like one of those weird moments that you're looking at yourself in the mirror going, wow, this is pretty cool, but it's also I think I should be embarrassed by this right now. You know what I mean? But I was so screwed up on painkillers. I don't know if I really, digested it. My wife did.
Yeah.
This is so
that's not good, man. No.
Well, part of it's the story. I mean, I've had this thought before. Like, I don't really, God, I mean, I can't remember the last time like I smoked pot. But if I'm hanging out with Snoop Dogg and Snoop Dogg offers me a blunt, you best believe I'm hitting that for the story.
For the story. You best believe I'm hitting that.
I mean, come on. Like, let's just be real.
This was different. Bobby Brown was doing different things.
I understand. He's had a hard life. But a couple months ago, middle of the night, I found some random thing that Bobby Brown's selling like hot sauce now and has like a hot sauce company with like barbecue sauce.
Has he turned his stuff around like fully?
Oh yeah, no, he's doing well. I think his situation, not to speculate too much, but I believe it's similar to Mike Tyson's, where they got on the right meds finally, and the chemical imbalance was taken care of. He seems very in a good place now compared to where Lowry's been in the past. But
cool as hell for what it was worth. I thought he was cool as hell.
But yeah, I did order like $100 in Bobby Brown hot sauce and barbecue sauce and like
good for you.
Shake and bake in the bag. It's pretty good stuff.
This is so coincidental because today I was on driving from work from the office. I have like 3,000 songs on my iPod and that's connected to my car. And New Editions Hit Me Off came on today. And I haven't heard that song in like 5 years.
Yeah, that was a record that Diddy produced.
So the fact that we're talking about this is just mind-blowing to me.
New Edition, like, I love the Jackson 5. I love a lot of boy band stuff, but goddamn, New Edition, man, Candy Girl, Cool It Now. To me, they're the best boy band of all time.
Ooh. God, how do you take them?
Jackson 5 is a close second.
Yeah, Jackson 5. My mom, I know it's terrible, but my mom had it in her room the other day, and as it kept going from like song to song to song to song while I was cleaning the house in here. I was like, damn, everything they hit was a friggin' number one. Like,
well, but consider it this way: that consider New Edition's legacy, the fact that every member of New Edition, Belle Biv DeVoe, Bobby Brown, Ralph Tresvant, Johnny Gill,
yes,
they all had number one hits.
For all that reason, yes,
Johnny Gill.
They all did their own thing individually, no question. Yep.
I mean, Bobby Brown's solo career. I mean, it's like if the Jackson 5, Michael obviously, Jermaine a little bit, but no one was buying Marlon Jackson records in the 80s. So I think the New Edition, just all in all, like the mothership of it, is just insane what they were able to accomplish.
How old were the Beatles?
Beatles, that's a good question. I mean, Paul McCartney is
no, how old were they when they first really hit?
Well,
were they considered teenagers?
Oh, I mean, they were actually considered a boy band originally when they came out, right? I mean, they were a pure pop.
You definitely have to throw them in there then, if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely evolved. So they were in their early 20s when they.
Okay, no. For me, you gotta be 18 and younger. You know what I mean? Like ABC or.
Yes. It's an interesting genre. It's fun. Do they still exist? Do boy bands still? I remember One Direction was a thing. But
isn't there a Korean boy band right now? It's like a big thing.
K-pop, yeah. BTS.
BTS, I think that's it. Yeah.
I don't know. After O-Town, I tuned out. Boy bands.
Hey, really quick, what is K-pop?
Korean pop music.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very, very big. And there's all sorts of documentaries. I mean, if you thought what Lou Pearlman was doing, aside from the allegations, if you thought Lou Pearlman had a factory for boy bands, like K-pop is next level, how they put together and package these groups.
Mm-hmm.
I miss Making the Band. When that was on ABC back with O-Town, when Tough Enough was on the first few seasons.
Making the Band was awesome, but I liked the MTV Making the Band with
the Diddy version.
Band. Yeah, Diddy's
band,
version.
yes.
I loved that. Oh my God, I love that show.
Dagon spits the hot fire.
Dude, Chappelle's cover on that was the best. It's still one that today I cry laughing watching. Don't get too close, man. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I've seen them all. Anyhow, this is what people really tune in for. Forget this wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
Good talk about early 2000s reality TV. Anything else, Justin? We good?
I can't top any of this, so we're done.
Cool, guys. Friday night, SmackDown. Me, Matt Morgan, and Michael Wiseman gonna run it all down. Goldberg's back.
You'll need to flood Raj's timeline. Why ain't he on the show? I think.
Although the other night we were doing this, Justin, I'll have you know, we were doing this with Raj Monday, and I wanted some Vince. I want some pure Vince. I had to go with the Raj Vince, which isn't as good as your Vince.
I haven't
Very
heard the.
disappointing.
I thank you for the compliment. I've not heard the Raj Vince, so
It's good, but it's, you know.
Yeah. He doesn't get into it. He doesn't go as deep into it as you do.
Yeah, it's kind of like Fred Armisen doing Barack Obama. It just wasn't as good as what Jay Farrow was able to pull off. Anyhow,
real quick plug.
Yeah.
You can have all of us together doing Vince's, doing boy band talk, WrestleMania week, Friday that week. I believe it's April 3rd in Tampa. Rick's on the River from 3 to 5. Glenn, Matt, Raj, myself, Nick Hausman. We will all be there doing some
Ryback.
and Ryback. Doing some Q&A, enjoying the great happy hour specials, the food specials, the sun being out and it being WrestleMania weekend. Come join us. It is free to get in. There's no cover. It's free to get in, but we do encourage you to go to WrestlingInc.com's Facebook page to the event and register and let us know you're going to be there, because if in fact this thing does start to hit capacity, we want to make sure those who register get in first. So there you see it right there, Facebook.com/WrestlingInc. It's Friday, April 3rd, 3 to 5. Perfect little happy hour time. Rick's on the River. If you're going to SmackDown that night, this place, Rick's on the River, is less than 2 miles from the arena. So we'll make sure you have no problem getting to your SmackDown or whatever you're going to do downtown. So if you like this podcast, all of us in one place, one night, it'd be a lot of fun.
Could they click that link and be taken to it right now, or no? Is it just
no, the technology doesn't quite exist that perfectly, unfortunately. So they gotta type it in.
So take a picture of that, guys. Screen capture that. Get on there, sign up, do what you got to do, but come out and see us. Seriously, it's gonna be fun. I promise you.
All of us in one room together. That's insane.
Promise you'll be very entertained. Come on
It'll
out.
be good. And everybody, when you ask questions, just ask Raj questions about Ryback. Like, that's exclusively what I want you to ask Raj questions about. The entire Q&A.
We all might be fired by the time Mania comes. Let's be honest.
Oh, we got stuff to fall back on. We'll be
Don't
fine.
threaten me. No, I'm joking. With a good.
Okay, on that note, catch you back here Friday. Take care, everybody.
Can't fire me. I quit.
Terrible.